Yes, this is in continuation video. So we were discussing that graph 2 GDP contribution is highest from tertiary sector, and in graph 3 if you see more number of people are employed in the primary sector. Most people employed in primary contributing the least, and least number of people employed in the tertiary sector, they are contributing the most in the GDP. So now we have come up to where most people are employed. We know that they are employed in the primary sector, and why the reason says that why still it is contributing so less. The primary sector in the blue, it is contributing so less to the GDP as shown in graph 2 2013-14, and still why more people are engaged in agriculture or primary sector, because there has not been enough growth in the other two sectors, not enough employment created in the industry and in the service sector. So still half of the working population in the country is dependent on the primary sector only, because they are not able to move to the other two sectors. Now we comes towards the underemployment. Underemployment, what is this term? It means that if there are more people in agriculture than necessary, so that is known as underemployment. Means if we are engaging, for example, 5 people on a piece of land, and if we take out 2 people out of it and 3 people are engaged on the same piece of land, they will produce the same level of output. They are actually not utilizing their potential to the fullest. Okay, all 5 are working, but they are not actually required, but the other 2 has nowhere to go, so they stay over there even there is not much work. So all the people are contributing less. If we remove 2 people, still output remains the same. So this is known as underemployment. Now Lakshmi, the example is given, owing 2 hectares of unirrigated land dependent only on rain. 5 members of family work on it. Everyone is working on the same piece of land. Each one is doing some work, but no one is fully employed. So they are all working, but they are not working to their full potential, and apparently all of them seems to work, but they are working less than their potential. This is known as underemployment, is also known as hidden. Hidden means something which is in disguise. So this unemployment is also known as disguised unemployment. So next, in the next paragraph, it is given a landlord is there who provides 2 members of his family some work, and then earn some extra money. Lakshmi earns some extra money because she even did not need 5 members to look this small piece, and 2 member moving out will not affect the production at all. So the 2 people move out, work in a factory or anywhere else, it will increase the earnings of the family. There are so many farmers like Lakshmi in India. The people, the members, family are engaged on the same piece of land. They are not getting any opportunities outside. If they get an opportunity outside there, and they are able to earn the additional income, they are all termed as underemployed. So underemployment is not only found in agriculture, actually it can be any other sector also. It can be urban areas also. For example, painters, plumbers, these are all doing odd jobs. Many of them find work sometimes and sometimes they don't find work. So actually they are spending the whole day, every day they are spending, but someday they are earning, someday they are not earning. So they are also underemployed, they are not using their potential to the fullest. So this definition is very important, students. That is, define disguised unemployment, okay, or define underemployment in this topic. In the earlier topic, what are the reasons, what are the reasons for rising importance of tertiary sector? These reasons I told you are also very very important from the point of view of your exams, main exams, CBSE exams. So take notice of these two questions and prepare them well. Now we come towards your let's work out exercise, that is, complete the table using the graph. So you will do this table by yourself. What changes you observe over the span of 40 years? Observe yourself, you don't need to write it in your copies. Choose the correct answer. And underemployment occurs when people do not want to work, are working in lazy manner, are working less than what they are capable of doing, are not paid for their work. You know the correct answer because I have discussed this concept. Do it yourself. Third question, compare and contrast the changes in India with the pattern that was observed for the developed countries. What kind of changes between sector were desired, but what happened in India? This you need to write in your copies. You will write the trend from the historical changes, that in case of the developed countries the trend was first the primary sector developed, then the secondary, and then the tertiary. But India, firstly the primary sector developed, then before even the secondary sector was developed, the tertiary sectors became more prominent than the secondary sector. So the pattern is different in India. So you need to write the answer number 3 in your copies, and answer number 4, why should we worried about underemployment? Why we are worried about underemployment, you understand, when they are working less than their capacity. So when this happens, the people, they are earning less, their earning capacity is now reduced. This leads to a very poor standard of living, and it is main reason for the problem of poverty in the country. So this is the way you will answer it, and write in your own words because I have told you the concept. So these two questions you have to do in your copies. Now, how to create more employment? The next is next topic in the book. We can remove the situation of underemployment, and we can increase the employment for the people like Lakshmi, who has unirrigated land. So government can do what? Government can give them some loans, so she will be able to irrigate her land, and then she can be able to use the land for the crop, second crop also. Now suppose 1 hectare, as given in your book, 1 hectare of wheat can provide employment to 2 people for 50 days, and so 2 members of the family can be employed in her own field. Suppose new dam is constructed, and then this could lead to the employment generation. Now these are the ways in which government is helping, by giving them loans, by giving them work. How they give them work? Through the number of projects the governments take into consideration, like infrastructure projects, building of roads in these villages, dams in nearby dams building, and these are the ways in which the people are being provided with the employment opportunity. Government can also do what? Government will also provide them with some storage facilities, transportation facilities. This will also further help such small farmers like Lakshmi, and they will also provide the employment opportunity. People who will be engaged in the transportation, people who will be engaged in providing the storage facilities. Now, Lakshmi is a poor farmer. She also require the facility along with the irrigation of land. She also requires better variety of seeds. She also require fertilizers. She also require pesticides. She cannot afford all these things. So it is, if the government provides her loan, she can be saved from the hands of the money lenders in the villages. These money lenders, like landlords, they exploit the small farmers and they charge a very high rate of interest to them. So if the government is providing them loans at a cheap rate, this will be leading to their improve in the conditions of living of such farmers, and they will be better off also. Now, what else the government can do? Government can engage large number of people in employment by setting up of small scale industries, by setting up of these industries, especially in the rural areas. Like if in these areas, there as example is given, dal mill is there, so it can procure the pulses from these farmers and use in this mill and process them and sell them in the cities. So this is a very good example given here. This also solves the problem of the farmer, and also number of people can be engaged in these kind of mills and other small scale industries, and number of other avenues are given in your book. Please go through this so you may understand the different ways of helping to generate the employment in the rural area specifically. What groups of people, the question is given in the dialog box, do you think are unemployed or underemployed in your area? Can you think of some measures that can be taken up for them? So this is your self exercise. See around yourself if you find some people who are underemployed, or there are people who are unemployed, or you just think of some measures that can be taken so as to solve their problem. This will bring about analytical process of thinking in your mind about the where you are applying the book knowledge on your surroundings. You may come across now after this you see there are child laborers. These children are not able to go to schools, so if these children attend these schools, we require more buildings, we require more teachers. According to the Planning Commission, it will create more jobs in the education sector. As more number of students are there, more number of children are educated, it will generate the jobs also. We need more, if we expand the health facilities in the country, we will require more doctors, more nurses, more health workers. Again, it would lead to increase in the employment of the people. So every state can also bring about a change in the employment by promoting tourism in their areas, in different regions. So tourism will attract more people in the particular areas, particular regions. More tourism will lead to get the precious money in their state. More people can be employed in this sector of tourism, and the more jobs will be created. IT services also there. IT services are also providing jobs to the people. Now, after going through the entire these different ways of generation of employment, I would like to conclude this topic by giving you an analysis of Manrega, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005. So, what is this act? This act is made by the government and it made a law. Law is right to work, which is implemented in 625 districts of India. Under this act, all who are able to or are in need of work in the rural areas, they are guaranteed 100 days of employment in a year. The families below the poverty line. Even if the government is not able to provide them the employment, they will be given employment allowances for the work for 100 days. So it is its duty. If the government fails to provide employment, they have to give them some money, the entire money which they could be getting after employment. Even if they are not getting them work, they have to give money. Either give work with money or work without money, with work with money or money without work. This is the option. So this is known as right to work. This increase the production from land will be given preference under the act. So Manrega scheme, why do you think Manrega is referred to as right to work? This is your first question. The explanation is already given, because it gives an opportunity for the people to work. Even if the government is not getting them work, they will be given unemployment allowances. Now this you will do in your copies. Imagine that you are the village head. In the capacity, some activities you think taken up under the act increase the income of the people. Discuss. So here what you will think of the activities to increase the income of the people in your village. Many activities can be taken up, like water conservation, water harvesting, drought proofing by digging tube wells, by constructing irrigation canals. So many things can be taken in your area, in the village areas, so as to increase the these are the activities under Narega can be suggested. Renovation of some water bodies can be there. Land development for the agriculture or horticulture. You can say construction of dams for flood control. So many activities you can think of to be here. How would income and employment increase if farmers were provided with irrigation and marketing facilities? If they are provided with irrigation and marketing facilities, what the irrigation facilities will help? They will help them with better production. And marketing facilities means the transportation required will be provided so as to get their products to the towns for selling, and government is providing them storage facilities also in the case of marketing. So this will be generating employment in the particular area, leading to increase in their incomes also. and these services will be helping the farmers getting better price for their crops. So in this way you will answer this particular question. You will write this third also. In what ways can employment be increased in urban areas? You can write so many examples here also. Invest in industries, and then transportation will, if you develop more tourism, if we develop more educational, more vocational training in these areas, so all this will lead to more employment in the urban areas. So this is the end of the topic now, and we will take up other topics in the next class. So just go through it completely and do the questions in your copies. Thank you.